Now that I've got the forms prepared, ready to be filled, I'm using 3/8 nuts here, and later I'll add slingshot ammo in it. I soak the nuts in vinegar to get the zinc off of them. I can't guarantee that it gets the zinc off of them. It looks like it does. Do all that at your own risk. This is just the way that I do it, and I'll never do it again with nuts and slingshot to make a solid form. What I should have done is go to a plasma cutter and get 9/16 hexagons laser cut out and stacked in here. This was a theory I had. I used to use bolt heads. I'd cut the threads off of them for my solid forms, but since I needed smooth on the inside, I went this route. Ended up being truly a nightmare. I will never do this again. You can see that as I'm stacking the nuts, I'm trying to make as much surface area between all of them I can. They'll fit pretty good. You'll end up with some gaps you've got to fill in with the weld as you're doing it. But for the most part, most all contacts make just a little bit. It works good this way. Turn on some good music. Enjoy your day. It's just going to be a whole giant monotonous day stacking nuts. What I've done here, you can see the battery terminal just to the top left of the form up there. That was a extra battery terminal I had for my vehicle, but I stripped the end out and I'll hold it down in as I start spot welding around it. Quick, light spot welds. Everything has to connect. You have to weld as you go to keep your ground connected throughout the form. And as I'm welding it, I compare it to kind of a spider web type pattern that I'm welding here. It helps hold the form in. I'm jumping around a lot trying to avoid any kind of warpage. You'll still get some, but not so much. But I build the structure of the welds first really rough, and then I'll come back in and start smaller and smaller, filling in, building the structure more to keep things from warping until I get it to where I can weld it solid. Tapping them back into place a little bit. Some as it warps and moves around. Just trying to keep it as close as possible as you can, because it'll save a lot of grinding later. Coming all the way up and over out of the top of the form now. I don't do that up front because I end up knocking them off too much. But I come back, make sure you're proud of your form. Because we're gonna come back in with a grinder and cut it even with the top. Here I'm punching out the holes. That way I can get the slingshot ammo down in. It didn't work great. My theory didn't work great, but I was stuck with it at this point. Adding the slingshot ammo, 1/4-inch slingshot ammo, and I was trying to put it in one at a time. That was a nightmare. So then I just dumped it in and rubbed it around in there. Nothing actually, this was not the way I would ever do this again. Nightmare. Spot welding them all in place, or not even spot welding them, weld them in solid. I'm looking for a solid form inside and out. Here you can see I'm marking and cutting the top of the form. That way I know where my lines are to finish cutting it to halfway point.